Hey class! So we've made it through week 3. I'm still back home in Long Beach. We had a flood last week, which I know sounds like this has been like the craziest month, and it totally has been. So yeah, we had a giant flood, and so we've had people in our apartment trying to fix the problems. So I am filming this kind of last minute because it has just been so loud in here. But hopefully this works and you don't have a bunch of background noise. If you do, I apologize ahead of time. I'm doing my best. Okay, so I did want to talk about a couple things before I jump into what we're going to be doing this week. We actually have a pretty pared down assignment list for the blocks that you're going to be doing for Wednesday and Sunday because I know that you guys are going to be working on your SATs. So I am purposely kind of limiting the amount of assignments you're doing, but I did want to talk about a couple things, and I'm probably going to insert some different videos in here, so I'll be kind of coming in and out. Okay, so the first thing is I have a list, which is what I'm looking at. Okay, so citing your quotes. So a lot of you have turned in your works cited pages, which is awesome. I did want to talk about making sure that when you are citing any sort of source.
Hey guys, I'm editing the video right now and I realized I didn't specify that when I said citing a source, I mean citing a source in your paragraph. So I'm not talking about the citations themselves on the works cited page, but I'm talking about in your paragraph when you're mentioning a quote, so like in your introduction or in your body paragraphs, making sure that you have the right information being included. Okay, hopefully that makes sense.
That the number one information that I want is the last name of the author. I don't really care about anything else. Obviously, you can mention the name of the article, you can name the publication, all of that's great, but if you don't have the last name of the author, it doesn't matter. It's still considered not properly cited. So make sure that if all else fails, include the last name of the author, and that's going to be really important. So the next thing I wanted to mention is how to cite your urban legends, because I know that for a lot of you, you're a little bit confused because a lot of them don't have credible sources, they don't have authors, and I get that that's really confusing, so that goes against everything that we talked about how to do academic research. So for your urban legends, they're kind of the exception to the rule because, of course, they're not great sources because they're fake stories. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to approach them like you would a website or a web page. And so there is instructions about how to cite those in the MLA page on your important semester information module. But yeah, basically what you're going to do is you're going to start with the title of the web page. I'm assuming there's not an author. If there is an author, then you're golden. You can just do the author, title, publication or name of the web page, and then the URL, or in the date too. But if there isn't an author, that's okay. You're just going to start with the title of the web page. So whatever's on that top of the page that you got the story from, that's the title. Then and that's going to be in quotation marks, and then it's going to be the name of the publication or the name of the web page in italics. Then the publication date, if you have one. If there's not, that's okay. And then the URL. So it might be a pretty short citation. That's fine. Just make sure that you have those there. And obviously, if you're using the stories from one of the articles that we read in class, I do provide those citations. So hopefully you found those and that you just cut and pasted those, and those are good. Next, make sure that if you are in a time crunch and you can't get everything done that's in a block, which I know happens, it's okay, prioritize the essay prep assignments. So I'm getting a couple students who are turning in their reading and the other assignments and not turning in the essay prep, and that's actually the opposite of what I want. So if you can't get everything done, prioritize those assignments like the outlines, the brainstorming, the submitting your topics, the rough drafts, any of the things that are part of writing your essay. And the reason why is because the essays are a big chunk of your grade. So essay 1 is 10%, essay 2 is 15%, and essay 3 is 20%. So if you're not doing the prep to lead up to that essay, you're not going to do very well on it, and that is going to tank your grade. So I would much rather you spend your time doing the essay prep assignments, and if you need to miss a couple of the other, readings or videos, that's, it's not the end of the world. But definitely do those essay prep assignments first and then get to the other stuff later if that's something that you're dealing with in terms of like a time crunch. And then related to that, if you are having something happening where you need some extra time to work on an assignment, especially some of the bigger ones like the outlines, the rough drafts, that sort of thing, let me know ahead of time. So it's a lot easier for me to know if you're going to be turning something in, say, a day late, or, even a day and a half or 2 days late, if you let me know ahead of time, because then I know that something's going to get turned in and I need to be looking out for that. The problem comes when I don't know you're turning something in late until you turn it in already, and then I'm not necessarily looking for that. It's not on my radar, and that's, how I can miss things, or that I'm not grading things quick enough. So definitely communicate with me if you're going to be turning in something late, because then first of all, I can make sure that you don't get hit with any point deductions, but also it just allows me to know it's coming and know that it needs to be graded, because we're all dealing with crazy schedules, and so I need to be able to know if I'm going to need to grade later in my day when I not necessarily had that planned in the first place. So yeah, definitely let me know if you're going to be turning in something late. Okay, and then one of the last things I wanted to mention is what types of quotes to use for research. So I think most of you kind of got the idea that we really want those science-based, data-based, statistics-based quotes, and that's what you're going to be pulling out of the articles that you've chosen. But if you haven't kind of figured that out yet, that is really what I'm looking for. So I don't want quotes that aren't based off any sort of data, that are just kind of stating something without any support. I definitely want your quotes to be citing some sort of statistic, research, any of that. And that's really going to help support the points that you're trying to make. So if you've chosen a quote and it doesn't mention any research, data, statistics, you might want to find a better quote. And that doesn't mean you have to change your article. It might just mean choosing a different quote from that same article, because obviously you're only choosing a couple sentences from each of these articles. So you really want to choose the best, the strongest sentences that you can actually then discuss and that supports the points that you're trying to make. And then lastly, I realized I already said that, I'm going to be showing you what a final works cited page is going to look like. Some of you submitted really well formatted works cited pages, in which case you're good to go. But a lot of you seem to be a little confused about what the final format of a works cited page is going to look like. So I'm going to put an example in here.
So I'm just going to be inserting this little video clip of what your final works cited page for Essay 2 is going to look like. And the easiest way of figuring that out is to go to the end of your Unit 2 block, and you're going to go to the Essay 2 example PDF. And you're just going to click on that, and that is going to open a PDF of a completed Essay 2. And so you don't necessarily need to read this, it's not necessary, but if you are confused about any aspect of formatting your Essay 2, or just kind of what the paragraphs are going to look like, this can be really helpful. But what we're going to be focusing on for this video, let me move that, yeah, is going to be the works cited page. So let's look at the very end. So you can see here the works cited page is on its own page. I know some of you are having formatting issues where it's on its own page when you are working on it, and then when you upload it to Canvas, it's no longer on its own page. I'm pretty aware of that, and if I see that the works cited page starts at the end of a page, I'm going to assume it was a formatting issue, and I'm not going to mark you down for it. So just be aware of that. I am pretty aware of what these formatting issues tend to look like. Now, if I see it all the way up at the bottom of here, I'm going to assume that you didn't format it correctly. So just be aware of that, but I will not deduct you if it's clear that there was a formatting issue and it was uploaded. Anyway, so make sure to title it Works Cited, and then you're just going to put all your citations. And I should be able to tell very quickly how many citations you have, because it's going to be the amount of lines that are going all the way across the page. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 citations. And this is important because it allows me to very quickly tell when a citation begins and ends. So we're going to see a bunch of different examples of different citations here. This is obviously the article that we read for class, so this person just cut and pasted that from that, or copied. I realize cut and pasted is a
a millennial thing. Copied, I think, is what people say now because people don't cut and paste stuff anymore. Anyway, sorry, just off on that. But yeah, so this is going to be the article that we did in class. So this is one of their legends. Or no, I think this was their definition of urban legends. So there was an author, so they just did this correctly. So this one doesn't have an author because this is clearly where they got one of their or a couple of the urban legends. I don't know how many of the legends. So they did this exactly correct. So they didn't have an author, so they just skipped over and they went straight to the title of the web page. Then they have the name of the actual whatever website, and then they have the URL. So clearly there was no name and then there was no date, which is to be expected with some of these urban legends. You won't be marked down for that. Now, when it comes to your research, I do expect a author and a date and all that information. So this is clearly from one of their research, so that's good. It's got all that information. This one too, we have an author, we have all that information. Yeah, so I think all of these were from their actual research questions or research topics. So this all looks really good. The only thing they actually missed is that they didn't put it in alphabetical order. Now, I'm going to be honest, I often forget to check that things are in alphabetical order, so I usually don't mark you down for that. But if you want to make sure that there's 0% chance you're going to lose any points, I would put all these in alphabetical order. But you might get away with it anyway because I don't know why I don't focus on that. I just don't. So this is what it's going to look like. It's all on the same page. Obviously, if it goes over a single page, that's okay too. It's all double spaced, and then obviously make sure that you're indenting it like this. Okay, let's go back.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to be completing this week.
So just like as usual, we're going to go to the semester calendar just to double check that we have everything that we're going to be doing. Okay, so this is week 4. So on Wednesday, you're going to be turning in your Essay 2 final draft. So on the Sunday before, you're going to be turning in your rough draft. I am going to read that and give you feedback on the 2 paragraphs that you turn in, and then you'll be able to start writing your Essay 2 final draft once you get feedback on that. And then you're also going to be doing Unit 3, Block 2 and Unit 3, Block 3. So let's take a look at what those actually look like. And as I did point out before, I am purposely not giving you guys a lot to do in Block 2 and 3 because you are going to be obviously writing your essay 2 and then kind of starting your essay 3, and I know that's a lot. So we're just going to keep it very focused. Okay, so block 2 is just 2 things. So there is a persuasive tactics definitions assignment. So basically what you're going to be doing here is you are going to download this Google Doc that you're going to be filling out. It's going to look like this. Whenever it pops up, there we go. So it just has a bunch of different persuasive tactics, and then you're going to be filling in the definition. And obviously this will get bigger as you put text into it, but right now it's very condensed. And then you're going to just read this to kind of know what a persuasive tactic is. And then you're going to start filling out that Google Doc form. So you're going to be using the information that I have here. So I don't define the not the urban legend, sorry. I don't define the persuasive tactic for you, but I do give you examples of how it can be used in a good way versus in a bad way, because honestly, persuasive tactics are not good or bad in themselves. It's definitely how they are used. And so you're going to be using this information to come up with your own definition in your own words. So a definition that makes sense to you based off the information here. Obviously, you can also just look up a definition and use that, but I would definitely take some time to read these examples because you are definitely going to need them for your essay 3. So having a general understanding of how these work is going to be really helpful. Okay, so after you fill that out, these are just all the different persuasive tactics, you're going to, so this is an introduction to essay 3. And you're going to be choosing your topics. So on Sunday, so yeah, if you're watching this on Monday, so yesterday, you should have turned in or submitted 2 videos that you might want to write about. And so you don't necessarily have to choose those videos as your final topic, but it was just to give you a general idea of the different videos out there, and so you can choose a video that you actually like. So if you're still kind of on the edge, you're not really sure which video that you want to use, you're not like fully loving the ones that you chose, you can always go back to that assignment that you did on Sunday. And I do have a link here just to make it easier for you guys. And just look at what the other students submitted. So right now, you guys haven't done this yet, so the only submissions are the ones that I did. Um, but obviously, by the time you watch this, there'll be a bunch of other student submissions. So watch some of the videos, choose ones that you like. The only video that you cannot do or not choose is School Bully by Key and Peele, because that's going to be my example video that I'm going to be using as we work throughout this unit. But any other videos, even the ones that I chose here, you're welcome to write about if you want to. Yeah, so just don't do School Bully by Key and Peele. Yeah, so that's that. Let me go back to that page. Okay, so watch this video. This is just going to give you a general introduction of what Essay 3 is going to be about. And then you're going to submit what you want your topic video to be. So you don't have to outline anything yet, you're just choosing your video. So the information that I want here is the title, the creator, the issue that it's talking about, whether that's racism, microaggression, sexism, whatever social issue your video is really focused on. And it might not be something about, race or gender. It might be something related to stereotypes about, I don't know, like Republicans, Democrats, Gen Z, whatever it is. I'm just choosing random things. But yeah, so your issue does not need to be like a hot topic. It can be, but if you want it to, if you want to choose an issue that just is kind of personal to you, like stereotypes around gamers or something like that, that's okay too. And then just a URL to the video. So yes, so that will be all you're submitting. So this isn't a very involved assignment. You're just submitting what you want your topic to be. And then for the next block, that's where you're going to be actually delving into it and doing some brainstorming and everything. But for this, just choose your topic. Okay, and then let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it for this block. Let this go. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. So that's going to be block 2. So that's going to be on Wednesday. And then obviously you're also turning in your essay too. So that's why you don't have that much to do. Okay, so and then on Sunday, so at this point you should have turned in your essay too. I'll be busy grading them. And so you're going to start actually brainstorming and working on your topic for essay 3. So you're going to take that same topic that you got approved up here, which if you got a 1 out of 1, it means that it got approved. If you got a 0 out of 1, usually it's just I have maybe some suggestions for a better topic. Usually I don't do that. I very, very rarely ever not approve a satire video. It's only if it's like either really old or I just don't think it's, appropriate for like the essay. But for the most part, you'll be fine. So yeah, if you got the points for it, you'll be good to go. And then you can start brainstorming. So what you're going to be doing is you are going to answer some questions. And so to help with that, sorry, this is taking a second to load. Okay, and then I do have a note. So for all of these, I do put a little warning that if you haven't done the previous assignment, do that first and then do this one. So obviously, if you're keeping up with all the work, you can just disregard this. This is just if you're kind of not turning in everything. There are certain assignments that you need to do the previous assignment before you move on to the next one, and this is one of those. Okay, so you've chosen your topic, you're good to go. You're going to watch this video because I love having you guys watch videos that I make. And this is actually going to be really helpful because I actually take you through how to brainstorm. So remember when I mentioned not last time, literally like a minute ago in this video, that you can't choose School Bully by Key and Peele? Because this is going to be my example, this is why. So in this video, I'm going to, first of all, just talk about the brainstorming process and then do it with this video. And kind of show you what that looks like. And then these are the questions that you're going to be answering. So just some general video information, then the messages, tactics, and then comments and responses. So just like with essay 1 and essay 2, the more work and effort you put into this section, the better your essay writing process is going to be because you're going to have lots to choose from. If you kind of half-ass this, for lack of a better word, you're going to have a harder time writing your essay because you're just not going to have that many things to talk about. So definitely try to fill this in and give as many examples as possible because it's really going to make writing this essay a lot easier. I also give my example here. So this would be if I was going to write an essay about School Bully by Key and Peele, this is how I would fill out my brainstorming. So you have a general idea of what that looks like. Again, you obviously can't choose this as your own topic, so you can't copy this, but it gives you an idea of kind of what I'm looking for. And you can see here, I'm not writing like entire paragraphs for all these questions, but I am coming up with multiple options so that when it comes to actually choosing my final topic, I have lots to choose from. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, so that's going to be your brainstorming. So next, what you're going to be doing is, I actually don't know what. Okay, now you're going to submit your plan for essay 3. So once again, I have a little warning up here that if you haven't done that first part, the brainstorming, don't do this yet. Do the brainstorming first and then submit your plan, and that's going to make sense in it once I explain what you're going to be doing. Okay, so you have your brainstorming notes all done. Obviously, you do not need to get your brainstorming notes approved by me. So you can just jump from that straight into this. You don't need any approval. You're just going to keep going because this is all in the same block. So get the brainstorming done, and then what I would suggest is have the brainstorming open in front of you. So don't necessarily close that out. Have the brainstorming notes in front of you. You can even cut and paste into a separate like document so that you have that. And then once again, you're going to watch a video because I love a good video. And this is just going to explain kind of what you're looking for in your final topics. Because with your brainstorming, you came up with a bunch of different things to talk about. But obviously, you can't talk about all those things in your essay because it's only, I think this one's a 5-page. Yeah, I think this one's a 5-page essay. So you obviously can't talk about every single tactic and every single message that is talked about in the video. So you're going to be narrowing down your tactics to just 2 tactics and 2 messages. And the tactics can be a mix of satirical or persuasive, or too persuasive, too satirical. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to do is fine. So you're going to have to really narrow down your list into just 2 tactics and 2 messages. So this video is going to go over what exactly you're looking for in your final tactics and your final messages, because depending on what you're choosing, it's going to, again, make your essay a lot more easy to write because you've chosen tactics or messages that will be easy to discuss, analyze, research, all those things. So watch this video, choose your final 2 tactics and final 2 messages, and then just submit that. So again, not super complicated. The brainstorming is definitely the more complicated part of this. This should be fairly easy because you will probably have certain messages or tactics that you really want to talk about, or at least that you think you have a lot to say. So yeah, so that will be that. So at this point, you've done your brainstorming, you've chosen your, I guess, like final topic. So you chose your topic video, and now you've chosen your tactics and messages. And then the last thing is just a reading that you're going to do. So as I pointed out in the introduction to this check-in, definitely prioritize the essay prep stuff first. Okay, so this is Blue Collar Brilliance by Mike Rose. You're going to, the PDF to the article is going to be here, and then there's just some different questions that you're going to be answering. So the questions are mostly around certain quotes. So I've kind of picked out quotes that I think are really interesting or worth discussing, and just having you really consider those quotes. And then there are some just random like reading comprehension questions as well. So yeah, so that is going to be the block 3. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions or concerns, but this should all be pretty straightforward. The last thing I did want to mention is right now block 4 is not showing because I am not finished with it yet. I'm still putting together the resources for you to do your outline for essay 3 because it's complicated. Just all our essays are getting more and more complicated. But once that is done, I am going to actually get that released early. So if you do want to get started on your outline, since this is quite a long outline, you can do that. And that's kind of purposely why I've left block 3 pretty simple and not giving you a lot to do, because I'm kind of hoping some of you will get started on your essay 3 outline early so that you're not trying to do it all last minute. So once that is released, you'll see block 4 and you'll see all the outline stuff under here. I will include a video that goes over exactly how to fill out your outline. So you won't need to wait for the check-in video. You can just get started as soon as you want. And yeah, that'll just kind of hopefully take some of the stress off. So yeah, that is what you're going to be doing for this week.
Hopefully that was helpful and you have a general idea of what we're going to be doing this week. So my question for this week for you guys to answer in the comments below is, what was your long weekend like? What was your experience? Whether or not you celebrated 4th of July or you just, use it as an excuse to get together with your friends or family, or maybe you stayed home because we're definitely having a surge of cases right now. I'm definitely going to be spending the weekend mostly at home, I think. I mean, I guess I will update you if that is not the case. But yeah, let me know what you guys are doing, what you guys are planning, if maybe your plans got a little complicated because things are shutting down. And yeah, just let me know how you guys are doing. This has been a crazy summer, a crazy month, but we are getting through it. And I hope you guys are doing good. Okay, so stay safe out there, and I will talk to you guys next week. Okay.